Good afternoon. This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.net for Sunday, May 16th. Last couple of days have been difficult for the market, especially on Friday. And of course, the reason being Europe yet again. No matter what the Europeans do, the market only likes it for a day or two. And then the crook hedge funds and brokerages and whatnot who are intent on destroying or are essentially doing a run on the bank, except it's on currencies right now, continue to feed the business media with BS that gets printed, and therefore the euro sells off, and that is bad for the overall market. No real surprise. News has come out that Soros has gone long gold, which means he's shorting the crap out of the euro. And, when you get these sharks and crooks in manipulating currencies, this is what happens in the market. Some snap back and forth. We did have a really big bounce on the market, so a retreat was not unexpected. If we look at the Dow daily chart, you can see I've highlighted an area both now and back in February. And the reason for that is we're sort of looking exactly like we did back in February. It was, January and February, it was the end of the world. The rally was over. We had a big sell off. We bounced and then we sold off again for a couple more days, and then we began that fantastic 2 month rally. Well, look what's happened here. We had a big sell off, we've had a bounce back, and now we've had another 2 day sell off. If we're looking at this chart and we follow the same pattern that we followed back in early February, we would see a gap down possibly tomorrow and then the beginnings of a new rally. Now, things don't always play out exactly as planned, but this is just a roadmap to give us an idea of what to look for. RSI needs to break 50, of course. And of course, key here will be participation by the tech stocks. Techs have really taken it big time on the downside over the last week on this European crisis. SMH let us down over the last couple of days. We had fantastic report from Cisco, but the European garbage that keeps floating around out there, they're saying tech stocks are going to be are going to feel the most pain from a slowdown in Europe. I'm finding that really hard to believe. A lot of the tech company revenues come from Asia, which is really starting to boom. European countries aren't even in the top four for U.S. export markets. So, we can have a recession in Europe and just do fine and dandy in the U.S. I mean, if you haven't been paying attention here, the economic data in the States has been fantastic. We've got an economy that's growing. We're about to start spitting out jobs left and right. All the indicators are looking really, really good. But, you still have all these doubting Thomases out there saying, we've got these issues in Europe, we've got some third world country like Greece is going to take the whole world down. No, it's not. This is a run just like we saw on the banks back in 2008. The exact same players are doing the exact same thing in Europe right now because they can. You remember back in 2008, the same crooks kept saying, we need to do this, we need TARP, we need, these bailouts. The news came, brief bounces, and then a sell-off again saying, this is not good enough. You're seeing the same thing here. Same players are saying, hey, Europe needs to do something. Europe comes out with big bailout packages, market bounces a couple of days, and then the same clowns are out saying, that's not good enough. They're not going to pass it. It's not going to do any good. And then down the market goes. Pretty soon, though, traders start to get, smart on what's happening and start going, screw these guys. We're not listening to this manipulation anymore. And I would be very surprised if we don't see that happen very, very soon. Put it like this. Considering all the bad news that is supposedly out there, the doom and gloom end of the world stuff that's out there, we are looking at, the SMH down, what, $3? We go over to the Dow. Dow is down, 600 points from its high. It ain't that bad. And just going back on charts, I've never seen a market tank when the economy is starting to just turn around. So, we were extremely overbought. We needed a retrace. They have the excuse right now. Let the crooks have their fun. They're not going to stay at this party very much longer, in my opinion, and we should see a nice little bounce. Chinese would be very surprised if you don't really start to see them intervene in the European or in the Euro market to put a support under there, because that is their biggest trading partner, and the lower the Euro goes, the harder it is for the Chinese not to make their margins. Simple as that. But let's jump into some stock plays. We can go back and look at the market if we've got some time at the end. CRXX, very, very strong over the last 3 days. Market tanked. This one kept pushing to new highs. We closed at a breakout on Friday. Chart looks fantastic here. All signs point to a move to 2 plus on this one. RSI, nice uptrend. All the indicators, on bounce volume, stochastics, ADX look fantastic here. Actually, let's take a look at a 2-year chart just to get an idea of where we could possibly go here. $2 looks like a lock at this stage, in my opinion. And the next target after that would be a move to the 250 area. Not a bad upside for this stock. This Thursday, as I mentioned last week, ASCO, the cancer conference, is in early June, but the abstracts, what these companies are going to talk about, gets released after hours on Thursday. And every year there is a lot of anticipation and speculation going into those Thursday releases. And typically the ASCO cancer stocks tend to get some very nice moves in the days going into the releases. OXGN presenting at ASCO in June. Big sell-off over the last couple of weeks. It's down 40%. Started its bounce there on Wednesday and Thursday. Dipped, of course, with the market on Friday, but nicely set up here, in my opinion. A close over $1.03. The 20-day exponential sets this one free. We're looking for 112 and 125 to 30 on this one in the near term. We're about to get a positive MACD cross on this stock as well. And if you go back over the last few positive MACD cross the stocks had in 2010, happens right before the stock goes on a big gap. So positive MACD cross could happen Monday or Tuesday, which implies, if it follows a previous trend, some sort of news and a gap spike. And, we are expecting abstracts releases, so we've got our excuse for this one this week. Our other favorite ASCO play is PARD. They're going to be releasing data on their phase 3 cancer drug. Nice little run for us since our entry last week. Little dip, of course, on Friday. No real surprise. You had a lot of traders step into the sidelines here, but this one held up very, very well on Friday. Held its 20-day it did show a 125 low, but that was really early in the day. There was a big buyer there all day long at $1.28. We're looking for at least a snapback to $1.40, and then $1.60, $1.70 is our target by the end of the month. WAVE, this was a very nice winner for us in the chat room on Friday. Now, we've been sitting in this one over the last couple of weeks waiting for a breakout move. We had that turd HAUP pop 300% on some really ridiculous news on Friday. WAVE does the exact same thing, which is why we jumped into a bunch of it on Friday. Bounced to our first target, the downtrend line at 47.5 cents. As I previously mentioned to you guys, if you were uneasy with this one, it was a good idea to have sells sprinkled between 45, 47 cents. And if you did that, you got a nice little profit booked. You're still in the stock, and the chart looks very, very good here. Let's actually go over to that HAUP chart. They released news that they had a PC card. You put a card in your computer, it lets you stream TV to your iPhone or iPad. Not revolutionary, $9.95. But it had the iPhone, iPad news in it, a low float, and that's pretty much all it took, and off to the races this stock went. Now, looking at this stock, big up move, second day pop. Typically, when you see this happen, day 3 is a down day, which is tomorrow. As an example, we'll look at IFLG. This is another low float turd that had a big, big move over the last couple of days. Here you can see big gap. Second day move, down third day. This is typically what we look for when you're shorting these high momentum stocks. And of course, these are only for the strong stomach traders. So going by this thinking, we should see HAUP lower tomorrow. Vonage, VG. This is a stock we tagged last month down at $1.40, actually $1.35, $1.40 level. It's now up 33% over the last month. Very, very strong over the last 3 days. It's trying to break out here on a strong or on a bad market over the last 2 days on very strong volume. All the indicators look very, very good. On bounce volume looks fantastic. And this one looks like it should go on a run early this week. If we take a look at the 2-year chart here, This break of $2, next target would be 250 on this one. Now our way to play this momentum, of course, is EGHT, cash flow positive, earnings, no debt, etc., etc. Traders got wind of this one on Friday, tried to pop it, but the market was sort of red and we saw some profit taking into the close. This stock should be easily $1.50 just based on the move we've seen in Vonage lately. Would be looking to accumulate this one around the 200-day moving average and just sitting and waiting for the inevitable pop on this one with very low downside risk in this stock, in my opinion, just giving the earnings and the cash that it has. DDSS, keep an eye on this one. It was trying to break out on Thursday. Market on Friday sort of gave it a slap back, but this is a stock that wants its 20-day exponential. $1.35 first target, $1.50 secondary target. You can put your stops at $1.10 on this one, but any sort of green market this weekend, and this one should be a go. So going into this week, our favorite plays are CRXX for a pop in the next couple of days. And then, of course, OXGN and PARD. And don't forget our other couple of plays that look very nicely set up. That's it for the video. I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.